This is the Big O Show. 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 This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and they're the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. See, getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
Coverage of Zach Thomas's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame is brought to you by Baptist Health of South Florida. From orthopedics, sports medicine, cardiovascular, and even cancer, get the world-class healthcare your family deserves at baptisthealth.net.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Hialeah Park Casino is turning 10, and we're bringing you an anniversary bash like never before. See a million, win a million. Join us every Saturday in August, where 10 lucky customers will have a chance to take home $1 million. Snap a selfie with $1 million in cash, post it on social media, and get ready to win even more fantastic prizes. Come to Hialeah Park Casino's 10th anniversary celebration and make history with us. When you see a million, win a million.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Our platform's coverage of Zach Thomas's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame is brought to you by EJDconstruction.com. Welton Rayom Law Firm serving South Florida to the Keys. Perdomo Cigars. Visit their retail store in Miami Lakes. CuttersEdgePro.com. Your total landscape solution. Sloman's Home Security. Visit them at Slomans.com. Baptist Health of South Florida. Visit them at baptisthealth.net. On behalf of everyone on the Big O radio show platform, we'd like to congratulate Miami Dolphins Hall of Famer linebacker Zach Thomas. The Big O radio show hits the road once again. This time, Miami Dolphins fans, we're in Canton, Ohio to watch Zach Thomas get the honor he deserves as he's inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This road trip is brought to you by Cutter's Edge Pro, Sloman's Home Security, EJDconstruction.com, Perdomo Cigars, Baptist Health of South Florida, and Welton Rayom Law Offices. And now, here's your host, Orlando Alzugari.
It is 7, man. 7. You see how we don't stop working for you guys. From the Hall of Fame, home of Zach Thomas. Yeah. I saw this hat yesterday and I almost bought it. And then today I went back and bought it. And let me tell you something. Okay. If you're a Miami Dolphins fan or any fan for any other team, this goes for all of you out there. I want to tell you, like people like I saw Dolph Freaky today, and I think people like Annie did it right. Did it right. I ran into some of the fans, and a lot of you that were here, fantastic. But some of you left yesterday or this morning, and I got to tell you something. You got to stay all the way through to finish the experience because you watch him get his jacket, you watch him go through the parade, you watch him then do the speech, right? And then the next day, the actual bust is placed in the hall. And we took pictures for you. If you want, go to our here on our YouTube page. We got shorts there. You can check them out. I did several of them over there, so you can check it out, which was really, really cool. I mean, it's been a great time. Blessings. Got to thank Zach. He's working on the interview. It'll drop later. Here's Zach Thomas signing my credential, and so there you go. It says, "Thank you for the love, support, always." And so, because he knows I've always been a big supporter of his and JT and Sam and Pat and all those guys. I knew the hell that they were going through because I covered the team. I knew exactly what was going on and the shortcomings of the team. It certainly wasn't the defense. It's just you wanted a perfect defense to carry the entire thing and score for you and everything. That wasn't going to happen for a whole season. There's a couple of those defenses that have existed in time that can do that. But I mean, these guys were good enough to win a championship. It just they never got there because they didn't have a complete team. Whether Marino didn't have a complete team or Jason and Zach didn't have a complete team or any of the other teams that have been together here the last 20, 30 years, that's kind of been the problem. It's been an imbalance that's been with the Dolphins. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I think in 2023, they've got the balance. And they've got the offense. They've got the defense. They now have the coordinator in place. And they've got the front office. And they've got an owner that will sign checks. That's the beauty. You don't need Stephen Ross there for football knowledge. That's not necessary, thank the Lord. But you do need an aggressive owner that is willing to do whatever it takes to win. And that's the beauty of Stephen Ross, that he is willing to do whatever it takes to win. And that has never been denied. And that has always been what you see, with the Miami Dolphins. So that can't be something we ever complain about. But I think they've got the balance now. And it was fun talking to Zach today. We talked I took a lot of the angles with you guys, with the fans and the connections and things like that. And you'll get to elaborate on it. If you follow us on Twitter, on X, you have a lot of exclusive stuff there too that we posted. Also, we posted a video, and we're the only media people that were there. There was no other media there, by the way, especially locally. Nobody stayed. Everybody locally was gone. Not one. Did you see anybody from our right? I don't think I saw anybody locally stay. And so DeMarcus Ware must have Crown Royal as one of his sponsors. So he had a little meeting in the back room, and we were privy to it, Sean and myself. We were the only people there because we were waiting for them to finish that. And then Zach was going to do our interview. And so what he did was he gave everybody a Crown Royal that was personalized for each of them. You can see the video and the presentation of it and all the guys there and all of it. It's fantastic. And so it's pretty cool. And by the way, Zach did the interview with us in the gold jacket. And I got to say something. I think we are the first outlet in South Florida to interview Zach Thomas, the Hall of Famer, post the speech and everything. So kudos to us, baby. Number one. Yeah, that was fun. It's something that for a lot of us, it was personal because we wanted to see Zach get the honor that he deserved. It wasn't something that we were trying to make a case for the guy. You knew, I knew his greatness. We saw it every Sunday. We saw him make plays.
He's not the reason why they ever didn't win a championship or lose a game or whatever. You and I knew that Zach did everything he could possibly do. You know what I mean? But you can't do it by yourself. You just can't. You know, Walter Payton, poor man, was by himself for years and years and years until on the twilight of his career is when that monster team game came together and he was able to leave, you know, with the championship. But he busted his ass like he was never going to win one because he never had the quarterback. He just never had the balance that you need in order. And that's kind of the trick of all of this. Got to have the balance. And I really feel the 2022, now 2023 Dolphins have that balance. They just need a little luck now. I think Tua's headed for a monster season. By the way, the Dolphins made a couple of moves before I talk more about what happened today at the Roundtable. And by the way, Sean will be making a video. It'll be on our platform here on today's events on the Roundtable. There'll be videos and cut-ins and all kinds of stuff and pictures and all kinds of stuff for the whole day covering what went on today, because we also have stuff at the Hall of Fame. We went back to the Hall of Fame because remember, we went a couple of days ago to sing the Dolphin fight song around Shula's bust. I hope you guys have seen the video and share that video and use that video, baby. That should be the video we use every. We're gonna have that video. We're gonna have the video. We're gonna have the chant from everybody, part of our pre and post game show, and have some fun with that. But anyway, you'll have pictures of everything, videos of scenes from the Roundtable. Sean's going to have all that stuff. It just takes a while to put all together. So the man's working his ass off over there. We're going to give you a little teaser of the Roundtable. Zach and DeMarcus Ware talking about playing with each other and how there was an admiration and a friendship that's built since Zach played that 1 year in Dallas. And since that moment, they were friends. And so we'll play that cut for you and how they both kind of talked about how they have immense respect for each other. So it's pretty cool. So you expect tonight. That's why I always tell you hit the notification bell. That way you know when we go live. And because of these trips. And by the way, I get home and I'm only home for 1 day, Tuesday. I go to Dolphin practice on Tuesday. I go to Hialeah Park. And then I'm off Wednesday and I'm leaving to Canada, actually. I'm flying over and I'm going to go to Quebec for 2 days. And then I'm coming back to Montreal for a couple more days. I'll still do my show in the mornings, wherever I'm at. But I'll be in Canada next week because I'm going to see Alter Bridge on one night and I'm going to see Metallica 2 other nights. You play hard, you got to party hard too. You know, you got one life, folks. If you don't live that life, folks, you know, it's just it doesn't fly. You got to live it, man. You got to live it, and that's the only thing we can do now. We can just try to survive and live it. So that's how we roll. So we'll have some fun and we'll continue doing our thing. But I gotta have a little fun with all of this. You got it? Okay, great. That video is ready to go. By the way, I want to thank Perdomo Cigars, Nick Perdomo and the family. I got to thank them. If you haven't been to the retail store, it's right off of 157th Avenue, off of 57th Avenue in the Palmetto. And it's got the entire line of Perdomo cigars and a great humidor there with all of the cigars and a 30-foot couch and a lounge and a pool table and a giant TV. And you can also run into Nick Perdomo. Reason why we're here, Perdomo Cigars, EJD Construction, Welt and Rayom, an amazing law firm here in South Florida, Baptist Health of South Florida, Cutter's Edge, Pro.com, and Sloman's Home Shield. So I want to thank our sponsors because they make it possible for us to do everything we do every day, have some of the best insiders, give you guys the best insight. I think in this platform, we probably break more Dolphin news than anybody else and give you more insight on what's going on with the team than anybody else, but we can't do it alone. Just like Marino can't do it alone, and Tua can't do it alone, and Zach Thomas can't do it alone. Sean Stanley and myself, we can't do it alone. We need your help. So it's hitting that like button. It's visiting our terrific sponsors and supporting us at the same time. It's making a donation. I see a Cash App already there from Talking Doggy. We'll get to that in a minute. Or, of course, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We really appreciate it, as always. So there are many ways. And soon we will have merch. That is coming very, very soon. We will have the merch for you. So we'll get to that also on the program, and we'll have that available to you. I'm working on all of that. It's just we're a couple of guys, and we can only do so much, but we will. I am working on getting that merch, but many ways to support our program. So we want to thank our amazing sponsors. All right, so I told you Sean is going to work on producing a piece that's going to have all kinds of stuff, everything that went on today, from the Roundtable to going back to the Pro Football Hall of Fame to see the entire class, including Zach Thomas's bust now where it belongs inside the hall. That'll be all produced. It'll be, dropped sometime this evening. Man's got a lot of work ahead of him. So that'll get done. But let's give you a little cut, okay? Zach Thomas and DeMarcus Ware are talking about their admiration and their relationship in that 1 year that Zach Thomas played for the Dallas Cowboys. Go ahead, Sean.
Coverage of Zach Thomas's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame is brought to you by EJDconstruction.com. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust.
Is it in the hall that should be? Yes. I'll probably go with Dwight Freeman. Yeah. Okay. It's coming up. The reason why I say Dwight Freeman, because each person who's in the hall has a characteristic.
My bad. Okay. This cut, actually, it's a great cut. The question, okay, from Steve Weish is a Hall of Famer, a player that belongs in the Hall of Fame that isn't in the Hall of Fame. So DeMarcus Ware gives his opinion, and then Zach Thomas gives his opinion, and you're going to want to hear it. So go ahead, Sean.
Is it in the hall that should be? Yes. I'll probably go with Dwight Freeman. Yeah. Okay. It's coming up. The reason why I say Dwight Freeman, because each person who's in the hall has a characteristic who has made the NFL crest. They've done something that only that one person can do. And when you talk about a guy who was small, and he was really fast, but created something that everybody wanted to do, which was, for me, that pass rush was that spin move. And a terror. And when you have a guy like, to me, Dwight Freeman, as I watched him in college, and him create really a whole new move that somebody else can't even do, and do it to a point to where everybody wants to do it, and every kid, so on and so forth. I think he's worthy of, getting into the Hall of Fame, but there's also so many other guys that are out there that are amazing too. And that's the hard part. There's levels to it. And it's a challenge.
Well, I'm going to stay with the Dolphins. You go all the way back to Bob Kuchenberg, Mark Clayton. But I would really like it. That was really good, and he's just a humble guy. And Joe will tell you, I'm sure he saw some old film on him, was Richmond Webb. Cheer for guys like that because he's great for the game. He protected Marino's back the whole time, his whole career. Real kind of quiet, but man, he wasn't quiet on the field.
Coverage of Zach Thomas's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com, your total landscape solution. Improve, beautify, and increase property values through landscape. CuttersEdgePro.com provides high-quality, great service and products at a fair market value.
Tell you, bro, that was and in our conversation, Zach and I went in on that a little bit. We talked about it, and you'll see it in our interview. And that's a little cut from the Roundtable. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of laughs. There was a lot of stories, things like that. And so Zach and what's it called? DeMarcus Ware and Revis and what's it called? The other Barber, Rondé Barber, all of these guys, and Joe Thomas, obviously, and Joe Klecko too. Joe Klecko was funny. Joe Klecko is, Jesus Christ. He used to was it bench 800 or squat 800 pounds
during the season?
No, 700 during the season.
Yeah, that's right, 700.
800 was his max. 700 he would squat during the season. And you know what? I got to tell you something. It's insulting that Joe Klecko had to wait 35 years, because I'm old, so I watched Joe Klecko. That there aren't a lot of people in the entire world like Joe Klecko. I mean, Joe Klecko could move mountains, dude. He was the guy you really didn't want to face. Mark Gastineau, he got us some sacks, but he was a horse's ass, and he wasn't this great against the run or anything. Marty Lyons was a solid player. Can never forgive that he ended Dwight Stevenson's career. For those of you who don't know the story, Marty Lyons, in a game against the Dolphins, took a dirty shot against Dwight Stevenson and ended his career. Don Shula, pissed about Dwight Stevenson, and he knew that Dwight Stevenson's career was over basically at that moment, and he ran over to the other locker room, and he got into Marty Lyons' face, and he mother effed him and all, and they had to restrain Shula, because he went after Marty Lyons. Marty Lyons felt terrible after that, apologized, all of that, and whatever. But there were good players on that line, but that guy Klecko was special. He was special, dude. I don't want to give the Jets any kind of love whatsoever, but you got to give credit to people when they deserve it. And Joe Klecko was a bad mother effer, dude. He was an ultimate badass, dude. That guy would have been a badass on any team, on any roster, in any era, any decade. That was an unstoppable force named Joe Klecko, So let me get to the chat board here, see what we got going on. Thank you all out there, by the way. The shirt. Let's see, because I'm kind of Oh, you know what I can do? I can actually put this down a little bit. There you go. So that's what the shirt says. There we go. There you go. Dolphins Pro Football Hall of Fame legends. So it's actually a pretty cool shirt. I pretty much bought every Zach shirt that there was. I felt like I was at an Iron Maiden concert, that I usually buy a couple of shirts, and I bought all kinds of shirts. I bought another one today that I ran into that I had not seen before when I went the second time to the Hall of Fame to check it out. Talking Doggy, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, what's your take on the Dolphins O-line? I haven't seen them play yet. We don't know yet. So, they just started camp. We're 2 weeks in. Let's see when we start getting into these scrimmages and the preseason games. I don't know what to feel. I think everything will settle down at left tackle, at center, and at right guard. Right tackle and left guard is up in the air like everybody knows. Outside of that, Talking Doggy, nobody can tell you anything, because right now, what I will tell you is I'm not happy with the situation. I'm not comfortable with the situation. Okay? That's the only thing I'm going to tell you. Now, I do want to remind you and everybody else out there, about 90 to 95% of the league has offensive line issues. The entire AFC East division has offensive line issues. Nobody has a good line. Everybody has concerns at least two positions on every single line in the AFC East. Just so you'll know. There's maybe a couple of teams, and it's not even a handful, that can say they're happy with their five guys. Okay? The Philadelphias of the world are few and far between. Most every other team has issues at one position or easily multiple positions. And they're patchwork and they're trying to figure it out. And college football has ruined it. Okay? And it's not their fault. It's the way they play the game. It's more of a passing game. Run graders are hard to find now. They're hard to figure out. They're all standing up. They don't have their hand on the ground. It's harder to scout them. It's just become a real pain in the ass. And I think guys are falling through the cracks that could have been good players. And it's just harder for the scouts now to figure out who can play and who can't play. And you know, also on the snap of the ball, they can go downfield right away. And the rules are different in the NFL than in college. It's just, there's a lot of things that have come into play with this. I'm not trying to make excuses for the Dolphins. I'm just trying to tell you, the reality is, don't think that you're the only ones with offensive line issues. Almost every fan base, Kansas City, Philadelphia, I don't know, I'm trying to think of, might be another one or two maybe. They're saying, okay, yeah, we're pretty good. But most of them are saying, shit, we're worried about this guy, we're worried about that guy, we're worried about these two. And that's something that's very common. I just want you guys to know that. Because I think sometimes people don't follow it all the way through. Jose Banos, thank you, sir. Thank you for the tickets to the joint practices on Tuesday. Big O, you're the best. Thank you very much. I'm not the best, but we try to do our thing here. Scotty, hey, Thaler. Any plans for Finn's or Kane's watch parties, Big O? We are trying to find Kane's. I don't know yet, but I'm trying to get we have a title sponsor. EJD Construction is our title sponsor for our pre and post game show. So we're set to do the Dolphins broadcast for sure. Now we need a home now. That's the next thing for it at a certain restaurant or bar or someplace like that. So if somebody knows somebody or somebody's listening, they can reach out to our business line, 786-754-4664 if you want to be a sponsor of our platform. And by doing our Dolphins pre and post game show there, I know we're going to get some people to come on out there and have some fun with you guys. So, you know, it's a win-win for everybody. Let's put it that way. So thank you all for sending in the super chats. Very nice of you. Let's see. Damn, we Finns 100% to each other. Great of Zach to say that. Damn it. Webb is next. I hope Webb is next. That would be nice. That would be nice. Lisa Rose is in. Jay Gelfin is in. You hated Klecko, but you hated him because you respected him. You knew he was a badass. You knew it. You knew it. J.R. Black says fans of Zach and the fan base today should learn how to be loyal to the Finns like Zach. Damn it, Zach never seemed to say the wrong thing. Great player in person. Yep. That's why everybody loves Zach. Because he's a great player and a great human being. And you knew it. And he was real. And he felt every loss like you did. He suffered like you did. He hated to lose like you did. And you knew it. That's what it's all about. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's why you gravitated to Zach right away. Because he was real. And it came through the television, through a microphone, on the field, everything. You felt Zach's passion. And that's why the fan base was so livid and so passionate about Zach having to be there, because it's like, no, we're not having any of this shit. Zach is a great player, period. Not an overachiever, not some guy that got lucky, none of that shit. He was a bad mofo, period. Give him his due. And that's what we saw today. which was awesome, or this weekend. Let's see. Big O just joined the chat. Just checking in with you. Did Zach Thomas mention Jason Taylor? Yes, he did. Of course he did. Didn't you watch his speech? Come on, Jose, man. What kind of a fan are you, bro? How have you not watched Zach Thomas's speech? It's on YouTube. It's probably on demand if you have, some kind of a cable or satellite service. Come on, man. How have you not watched Zach Thomas's speech? How have you not watched it maybe twice already at this point? After the Big O show, head over to ESPN Plus, cheer on my godson, Brandon Rose, number 24, and his BC NorCal team as they hopefully make their way to the Little League World Series. Very cool. Very cool. Good. And good luck. Big D, awesome time in Ken. It was a pleasure meeting you. Hey, oh, that's right, Big D. Yes. I remember Big O and all the Fins fans from around the country. Great time. Wasn't it awesome? It was a beautiful thing to get all those Fins fans together. And by the way, yes, Cleveland won because it's in their backyard and Joe Thomas. I get it, dude. This was their Super Bowl. But outside of that, Dolphins had the strongest fan base. Okay? And Dallas made it. They had 2 players. And New York was here with 2 players. And they were well represented. Okay? Dallas fans showed up, good numbers. Jets fans showed up in good numbers. Dolphins fans were the strongest. The strongest. So I love when they talk shit about the Dolphin fan base because it's talking shit. The Dolphin fan base is super strong. And we haven't won a damn thing in decades. And they're there every week, every year, every practice, every mini camp. I know because I cover the team for 33 years. I've been a conduit to all this thing. You guys have reached out to me by email and fax and texts and, and now YouTube and social media. I've gone through the gamut of how sports radio has developed, where it's no longer a radio anymore. Let's see. Oh, did you know there's going to be Twin Peaks in Doral? Really? Very interesting. Need to talk to those folks. Big O, do you think Cameron Wake has a shot of getting into the Hall of Fame? Cameron Wake. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think so. I would think Richmond Webb or Mark Clayton are more deserving of the Hall of Fame than and nothing against Cameron Wake. Cameron Wake was a hell of a pass rusher. He did a really good job as a pass rusher, but Jason Taylor wasn't just a pass rusher. He was really good against the run, got a bunch of interceptions, forced fumbles, scored touchdowns. No, you need a little more if we're going to be objective. Ring of Honor? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Ring of Honor. Hall of Fame? No. That doesn't even, put it this way, I don't even have to think about it. Okay? And I admire the hell out of Cam Wake. Not a Hall of Fame. Not a Hall of Fame. Let's see. Oh, you were a rock star among Dolphin fans there. Well, I don't know about that, bro, but we just had a good time. I'm here to do a job. I'm here to cover the team like I've been doing for 30 years. Bring you guys objective coverage, not like this bullshit I saw today. NFL rumors on X or Twitter, whatever. They had a report. Dolphins have amped up their pursuit of Dalvin Cook. And I retweeted that just to kind of crush it. There's no amped up shit. Okay, nothing. That's just another website, another Dolphin fan that wants to act like an insider, another newspaper, another TV guy that they're all looking for hits and clicks, and they get you guys suckered in, and then you're asking me, hey, is this true? And so I retweeted. You're not really supposed to do that in the media. You're not really supposed to show up the other people in the media. But I've gotten to a point already at this stage in my life where I'm not tied to a corporation, so I don't give a shit. And since I have the information better than anybody else, as it is as you all know that you followed this thing, nobody has walked you step by step through the entire Dalvin Cook situation better than I have. And yet, I see this, I had to retweet it and put, there's no amp up, there's no nothing. This is a desperate outlet that needs clicks on a slow news week, basically. I paraphrased. But that's what I put there. Bullshit. And that's what I'm trying to do constantly here on this show, because there's too much crap out there. And I don't care anymore. And if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. Because if I know I'm right, I know you're wrong. Because if I have the information, then how can you be right? You're not. By the way, they signed another defensive back, Pari Nickerson. He was a former Jets 6th-round pick in 2018. This is his 6th team. He has 21 tackles and 1 pass defense in 21 career games. Kind of sounds like a special teamer, but we'll see. Again, I think they're building depth behind the depth, just in case they have the injuries, because they were shell-shocked last year with all those DB injuries. They don't even need Eli Apple. Still, even after the Jalen Ramsey injury, they don't need him, and they went and got the best corner that was available just in case. And by the way, Eli's been practicing all right. So I think in this system, you will get a better Eli than you normally do, because Eli likes to take chances. And on one-on-ones, that's where he's dangerous. And I mean, not in a good way, dangerous. But I think in this scheme where you play a lot of zone, I think it really complements Eli, and it might hide, and you'll put him less on man-on-man situations, which I think is where he really gets in trouble. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see, but it's great depth to have on top of the depth that they already have. And remember, the Bryce Thompson kid is, who knows, is he the guy? We'll see if is he the new guy. They also signed defensive tackle Deshaun Hand, who's 27 years old. He's a former Lions 4th-round pick in 2018. They waived Anthony Montalvo. Okay? So there you go. All right. Today, I got to tell you, Roundtable was a lot of fun. And there was a lot of camaraderie. The stories from Joe Thomas, the humility, by the way, of some of these guys, whether it's Rondé Barber, how he really just talks about how he knew who he was, and it's interesting because Zach Thomas and Rondé Barber kind of had to manufacture their way to the Hall of Fame. And it reminds me a lot of what Jimmy Butler does as a player. Jimmy Butler came in as a defensive specialist, basically, in the NBA. A guy that was going to be a role player, backup, coming off the bench. And he said, no, I'm going to be more than that. And he's worked his career into becoming an all-star. And then he's worked his career into becoming a franchise-type player. Maybe not a number 1, but a number 2, number 3 probably is what he is. But he's working and building a resume to head to the Hall of Fame because he's manufacturing it. And so Rondé Barber a couple times even pointed to Darrelle Revis and said, that dude's special, right? Said, like, I watched film of him. Like, he does things that other people can't do. Most of us can't do. The patience that he talked about, how he would wait for the receiver to react and how he had the feet in order to recover and react quickly and also use his leverage and things like that. So it was really cool to see because we've seen that humility from Zach Thomas. And we've watched that humility develop into a Hall of Fame player. But it was cool to see, obviously, the swag, the swag of a Joe Klecko. because Joe Klecko was not going to be humble, right? That's not who Joe Klecko is. Joe Klecko, Joe Klecko's the guy you want in a bar fight, in a dark alley. You want him in Cannonball Run, and you want him on a defensive line. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who he is, dude. That's just one of those kind of guys. So it was cool to see the different personalities. Revis is not really as outgoing as some of the other guys. You could tell that Revis was, he could talk a little bit, but probably not as charismatic as some of the other guys. But that to me was a lot of fun and something that you notice, in that whole thing. The admiration too, by the way, that players, especially for Zach Thomas. I got to tell you, you got it from a couple of guys. Joe Thomas was, my God, all he could do was, gleam about Zach and talk about how impressed he was as a human being and a player and all that. And then you hear DeMarcus Ware, kind of doing the same thing too. And I thought that was cool too, that the respect that those guys also had for Zach Thomas, just the same way Zach, has respect for them. But it was cool to see how those two guys have had a personal attachment to Zach and getting to know him. And so then, once you get to know Zach, it is what it is. So that was actually cool. And you'll see in that piece that that Sean is producing, the connection between DeMarcus Ware and Zach Thomas. It's actually pretty cool. And by the way, in the video that we have and some pictures I put, you'll see in the tent where we're at, the two guys that were together the whole time kind of joking around was Zach and the two Thomases. Sure. Joe and Zach were just like hanging out there bullshitting, and everybody else was kind of talking and whatever and doing their thing and whatever before they all got together. But it was mostly the two Thomas guys just kind of talking and bullshitting and all that. And by the way, Joe Thomas is the only guy that is, you're going to give him a jacket and he came in shorts. Like, only Joe Thomas does that. Only Joe Thomas goes fishing during draft day. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that he's just a normal guy, and he belongs here. He belongs in this area of this country because it's kind of very basic, to be quite honest. Sorry, folks that live in Cleveland or Akron or Kent or what's the other Seville. I mean, we've been to all these towns around here. Not necessarily a lot of show, unless you go to the Gervasi Vineyards, then you've got something. The Gervasi Vineyards are nice too.
Joe Thomas gave kudos to the Dolphins fan base too.
And that's right. And Joe Thomas pointed out how the fan base for the Dolphins showed up. He felt it in that stadium. Okay. I mean, Zach and I are here, so we saw it. And fans are going to tell you whatever they want, So a fan's going to be fanatical. They're probably not going to be objective about it. That's our job, to be objective. I'm being completely objective. It was impressive. And that's why Joe Thomas mentioned it. He didn't mention the Jets. He didn't mention Dallas. He didn't mention Tampa. He didn't mention the Bengals. He goes, man, that Dolphin fan base showed up. So I constantly laugh at that when they tell me that our fan base isn't strong, when I know our fan base is incredibly strong. Big O, could you be inducted into the Hall of Fame as a media person? I think so. I think they have a broadcast. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. No doubt about it. People like, Al Michaels and people like that, Howard Cosell, people like that get in there. No doubt. Let's see. Big O, how is Ohio up there? It's fine, dude. It's a decent place. Not my kind of place, but it's a decent place. Also, Big O, how's that Aubrey Miller doing in training camp? He's been doing well, actually. Klecko was a beast. You are correct, Tommy. Got to give him credit, dude. Stephen Harris, Big O, did you catch Joe Thomas' weak bark? Yes. And he makes fun of it, by the way, himself. William Quigley, sir. Thank you for the love on the super chat. And Cutter's Edge Pro. There's my man, William, one of the best human beings on Mother Earth. It's been great having you in Cannes, sending some awesome pictures and videos. Thank you for being there, representing all of us who couldn't attend. Well, I appreciate it, and it's been an honor, and I got to tell you, Will, a blessing. Because, you can only do this if you're fortunate enough to be able to have the support of you, Will, of course, and all our amazing sponsors on the platform. And then, you guys got to keep hitting that subscribe button, and we got to keep building up the subscribers. And it moves every day. In fact, we crossed another threshold today. So, all those kind of things, it's a blessing, and I feel like I'm really lucky to be able to come out here and hang out a couple of days and meet the fans. Will, that's the other thing. That was fun, dude. Fun, shaking hands, hugging people, meeting Dolphin fans from Martin, my man Martin from London, who I've seen a couple times in different places, but it was great to see him here, in Ohio, and then seeing everybody else, that I thought that was really, really cool, and get to know some of the Dolphin fans that I always go back and forth on Twitter with. Although my man Dudley wasn't here, but from Dolph Freaky, Big Ed and I never really met, gone back and forth on Twitter a lot, and it was great to meet him. My man Sarney too, that we go back and forth all the time. He was here. That was great to meet him and get to talk to him. Just meeting a whole ton of you out there. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. A blessing is all I can say. An absolute blessing. So we are lucky. Tomorrow we'll be back in the morning doing a show right at 10 a.m. Ira Winderman will join us at 10:30. And then we'll probably have a Dolphin interview around 11. One of the guys will join us. And then we are probably going to wrap up. We'll probably have a short show because we got to check out and we got to head to Cleveland so we can catch a plane in the afternoon. Going to take Sean to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've been there 3 times, I think it is, to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So Sean's never been there. It's first time for him in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's the cool thing, by the way. When you come out to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is 45 minutes away in Cleveland. You're going to fly in and out of Cleveland anyways to get here. So you might as well make a trip and you get to see 2 Hall of Fames. Okay? And they continue to improve the Hall of Fame here, which is really, really cool. Great experience. Great experience. But a quiet day when it comes to sports news for the Dolphins. Again, if somebody shows you that report, there has been no amped up nothing for Dalvin Cook. Okay, it's the same offer that's been on the table from the get-go. As I told you and I reported earlier in the week, all the offers are pretty much right around the same. There's really no difference going on in those offers. Not that much. And that's why I think the Dolphins are in the driver's seat. And I think unless he's waiting for an injury, I would imagine that he's going to be signing in the next week. I don't think he's going to hold out much more. He's got to get into a groove already. He's got to start already he's got to make a decision at one point. Look, he's making $2 million from Minnesota this year, no matter what. So if the Dolphins are offering 4, 4.5, 5, he's going to still end up in the 6 area. But if New York is somewhere in the same area, he's going to have to pay taxes and pay for a home, whether it's renting one or buying one or whatever. And that's an expense that he doesn't have to. In Miami, he already has a home. He has no expenses. Plus, it's a no-tax state. He's coming here. Eventually, I think he'll be here when it's all said and done. I think he's just avoiding camp, which is kind of smart. But I think at one point he has to get in. So but it is what it is. Anyway, on behalf of Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend, we thank you for tuning in. We thank Perdomo Cigars. We thank EJD Construction, Welton Rayom, Baptist Health of South Florida, Cutter's Edge Pro, and Sloman's Home Security for making it happen and helping us get here to cover this event and give you the information in the videos. And remember, it'll be dropping in the next couple of hours, an interview with Zach Thomas, exclusive interview. First interview, no media outlet in South Florida has interviewed Zach Thomas after his induction speech. We are the first, baby, to interview him. Yeah. So bet that up right there. So we'll have Zach Thomas and all of the action today from the Roundtable, going back to the Pro Football Hall of Fame to see Zach's bust. And I also got myself another Dolphin shirt, which was actually really cool. So I enjoyed that. Anyway, I will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
You've been listening to the Big O Radio Show live from Canton, Ohio, as Zach Thomas is inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This road trip is brought to you by Cutter's Edge Pro, Sloman's Home Security, EJDConstruction.com, Perdomo Cigars, Baptist Health of South Florida, and Welton Rayom offices. The platform is mastered by Sean Stanley. To make a donation to our platform, please go to Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. To be a sponsor of the #1 platform covering the Miami Dolphins, reach out to our business line, 786-754-4664. On behalf of everyone that contributes to this platform, thank you for your support. Go Fins!